I know God allowed it, and I trust Him. But I'm 58 years old. My husband was a builder. I was a real estate broker. Now that I've completed all the projects that were unfinished when he left, I'm ready to retire. And I have a $1,000 mutual fund and another $500,000 mutual fund. I pay $10,000 a year to Edward Jones to manage those funds. I have $270,000 in a sub account, and I do own $600,000 in real estate. I paid for my burial expense, and I want to know, when do I collect Social Security? How do I collect Social Security? Because currently I draw $6,000 a month from those mutual funds. The tax mutual funds are hit with economy struggles. Do I need a financial advisor if I have an Edward Jones advisor? And if so, what kind of cost am I looking for that?
Yes.
I continue giving the same, even though my annual income went down, and I now have an $81,000 credit with income tax because
wow.
This of the real estate, I don't know, and I have $45,000 in emergency.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, Dawn, first of all, I'm so sorry to hear about your husband's passing. And it sounds like you have a lot of questions, but it sounds like you're doing an amazing job at keeping tabs on all of this. I would say the first step is to not make any big decisions right now. Let's take our time and work through these. I also want you to have a trusted advisor that can walk alongside you, because to your point, it sounds like by God's grace and His provision, and you're in your husband's planning, you were set up quite well. You've got Social Security coming to you at a minimum. You could take it at age 60, not quite yet, but you could then. You're going to get a reduced amount, or you could wait. You could take your own benefit. You could take survivor's benefits. So you've got lots of options there. But the good news is you've got plenty of assets. And it sounds like the amount that you're pulling is an appropriate amount for the amount you've accumulated. So let's do this. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to ask you to stay right there, and we'll kind of put a bow on all this after the break and talk about where you go from here. Hang on. We'll be right back.
Imagine having biblical financial wisdom delivered to your inbox every week, helping you integrate your faith and financial decisions for the glory of God. At faithfi.com, you can join a community of over 70,000 people who are already receiving our weekly wisdom email, filled with articles, videos, podcasts, and exclusive offers on resources that will deepen your understanding of biblical stewardship. Start your journey today by creating your FaithFi account at faithfi.com. Just click sign up.
Faith and Finance is underwritten by Certified Kingdom Advisor Kevin Bruce with Align Investment Research, helping families across Collin County honor God by stewarding wealth with wisdom and purpose. Because true peace of mind comes from aligning wealth with God's design. Learn more at align7.com or call 972-972-8465. 972-972-8465. Align is a registered investment advisor.
With it, you can quickly access AFR programming live.
I'm Todd Herman. Welcome to A Disciple's View.
The majority of Americans actually want to live in reality.
As well as podcasts of all your favorite shows.
Hi, this is Sandy Rios, and you're listening to Sandy Rios 24/7.
AFR on Roku is another way to stay informed, equipped, and motivated as we join together to restore godly values in our nation. AFR on Roku. Add it today.
We're grateful for support from Guidestone, whose diversified suite of investment solutions align with Christian values to create positive change in the world. More information is available at guidestonefunds.com/faith. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of Guidestone funds before investing. They're distributed by Foresight Funds Distributors, LLC, which is not an advisory affiliate, a registered investment advisor, nor do they provide investment advice.
Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Today, put your heart into something that makes an eternal impact. Heart for Lebanon is sharing the gospel and protecting girls from early marriage, child labor, and violence. Your gift of $114 helps reach 3 at-risk girls with hope and a brighter future. Give generously. Text FAITH to 98656. That's FAITH to 98656. Or visit faithfi.com/Lebanon.
to have you with us today on Faith and Finance on American Family Radio. I'm Rob West. Here in our final segment, we're taking calls and questions today. Before the break, we were talking to Dawn. Dawn is a recent widow and just trying to navigate and now being responsible for managing the resources God has entrusted to her. The good news is the Lord has provided significantly through she and her husband's planning and God's provision. She has plenty of assets, about $1.2 million between 3 accounts, another $600,000 of real estate she's thinking about selling. She's 58, has a couple of kids in college. The home is paid off, and she's wondering about just making decisions related to those assets, including whether or not it's the right time to sell the real estate, and also Social Security. Dawn, did you work and do you have the ability to collect Social Security under your own? The longer you wait, the closer you'll get to earning 100% of what his benefit would have been if you wait until your full retirement age, which is age 67. At any point before that, you are going to have a reduction of some amount, and then you do always have the ability to switch to your own benefit, assuming your benefit is higher than your survivor's benefit based on your work record. You can't get both. You can get one or the other, but you can get the higher of the two. So I think with regard to the real estate, that's really going to come down to, are you looking to simplify your financial life? Is there some oversight? If it's a rental property, obviously there's quite a bit of work that goes into that. With where real estate prices are right now, it may be a great time for you just to say, listen, I'm going to move towards selling that property. But there's the financial side of that. There's also the non-financial side that you just need to think and pray through. But I think that could make some sense. With regard to the other 3 accounts, the roughly $1.2 million, I think it sounds like you're taking a very appropriate amount. I would say take 4% a year. That's $50,000. You're taking a little more than that, it sounds like, but you're close to it. So I don't think you're pulling too much. And obviously, whenever you decide to start taking any kind of Social Security, you would have that on top of it, and you'd be able to reduce it. You've obviously got plenty of liquid reserves. That's great. And if you were to sell the real estate, potentially you'd add another $600,000 to these investment accounts. Now all of a sudden you're at $1.8 million, and taking $5,000 a month is no big deal at all in terms of you being able to allow that money to last for the rest of your life. The last thing I'll say is I think you really do need an advisor. Edward Jones is a great firm, and they have some wonderful advisors, but whether it's at Edward Jones or somewhere else, you really need a trusted advisor that can walk alongside you, not only managing the money in those 3 accounts, but really with financial planning, helping you make decisions on how to position these assets, when to pull the money, making sure you're covered on the tax perspective, helping advise you on whether or not to sell the real estate. All of those things could come from either that advisor or another one. And if you don't have one that really could serve in that more comprehensive role, then I'd reach out to a certified Kingdom advisor there in Missouri, which you can find a listing of all the CKs there in Missouri on our website at faithfi.com. Just click Find a Professional. And I think that would be a great person for you to have in your life at this point who could, just really help you navigate your financial life. The other thing that I'd like to provide, I'd like to give you 2 things. One is I'd like to give you a complimentary session or a few sessions with a certified Christian financial counselor that is not going to be the one to manage the money and help with the financial planning, but they can help you set up a spending plan. Because I think getting you to a place where you know what your budget is and having a method to control the flow of money in and out and really feeling confident in that is going to give you a lot of peace of mind. And so if you'd be willing to take advantage of it, we'd be happy to provide it. And this person would call you and pray with you and just kind of work with you to set up, the spending plan side of your financial life. Is that something you'd like?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would love that.
All right, we'll do that. So you're going to hold the line, and our team will get your information, and we'll get a certified Christian financial counselor in touch with you. And then lastly, I want to send you a book that I think will be a real encouragement to you. Miriam Neff, when her husband Bob passed away, she started a ministry called Widow Connection for women in your situation who were widows, who were now thrust into this role of managing their financial lives and navigating life accordingly. And the ministry is a blessing, but she wrote a book with her daughter called Wise Women Managing Money. And I think love this book, and I think it'll give you just some reassurance that you've got this, that the Lord is there with you, walking alongside you, but it'll give you some real practical handles on next steps. So we're going to send you a copy of that as our gift to you as well, okay?
I really appreciate your time and your information. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You hold the line, Dawn, and you hang in there. The Lord is near to you, and we're going to provide some great resources for you as well. Thanks for your call today. Let's finish up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee today. Aaron, go ahead, sir.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for your call.
Good. Hey, my name's Aaron. So I'm 21 years old. I'm working full-time. I make about $700 a week. And the only expenses I have each month it's a $400 a month car payment. I've got a balance of about $20,000 left on the car. I also have a credit card, and I pay the balance back on that each week. About a 750 credit score or so right now. And really what I'm calling for is because I want to learn how to manage my funds and understand how much I should be saving and like other than a checking account and a savings account, are there any other accounts that I should be using? Because right now money comes in and I pretty much just spend it. I don't really manage it very much.
Yeah, got it. How are you keeping your expenses so low? Are you living at home or?
Yeah, I live at home with my parents.
Okay, got it. Yeah, well, listen, you're asking the right questions, and I think the key is to understand, first of all, that God owns it all, and so you're a steward of what he's entrusted to you, and we want to manage it wisely. You also want to begin to establish those disciplines and rhythms of living within your means. The only way you can do that is through a plan where you give every dollar a job, and, we build a budget, but then we don't just stick it in a drawer. We have a system to control the flow of money, and that's where the FaithFi app could be helpful to you. I'd be happy to give you a 6-month pro subscription where you just check it out and see if that works for you. But the key is to understand as each paycheck comes in, it funds your envelopes. In the app, they're digital, and then you spend out of them. But the key is you're controlling the flow. So as you with those discretionary categories in particular, like eating out or entertainment, things like that, when the money's gone, we stop spending until the next paycheck comes in, and that's going to be really key. I think you building up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses, starting some regular giving, if you're not doing that right now, would be really important. And then thirdly, starting to put some money away, even if it's just a monthly systematic contribution to a Roth IRA or something, that could go a long way as well. All of this is laid out in a resource from a friend of ours called Open Hands Finance, and it was really built for college students and those kind of just emerging from college about your age. And through a series of podcasts and a workbook that you'll work through, I think it could help you understand a lot of these biblical principles that I just described and give you some of the templates of how to put all of this together. So Aaron, if you hold the line, we'll get your information and send that workbook to you, and I think that'll get you started in the right direction, okay?
Oh, that would be awesome. Hey, thank you so much, sir, for your time today. It's a big help.
Happy to do it. You're doing a great job, Aaron. Keep up the good work, and if we can help you further along the way, don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate your call. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Hey, we partnered with Heart for Lebanon, and we're trying to help them reach 500 young women age 13 to 21 in Lebanon. Let me tell you, these young women are at a heightened risk for exploitation, including early marriage, child labor, and sexual exploitation, radicalization. And we're trying to partner with them because with every gift of $114, we can reach 3 of these young girls and understand the gospel, that they can understand their identity in Christ and be empowered to go back to their families and stand up for who they are in Jesus. If you'd like to learn more about it and help support our mission to reach 500 of these girls, go to faithfi.com/Lebanon. That's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks to my team, Devin Patrick, Pat Montague, and Jim Henry. Couldn't do it without them. Thank you for being here as well. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and come back and join us tomorrow. Lord willing, I'll be here, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG Greenville, Dallas.
For family-friendly entertainment or resources to strengthen your walk with God, there's one name you should remember: American Family Studios.
We don't just want to bring you shows, movies, and specials that will entertain or build up your family. We're committed to honoring God by making them both biblically sound and of the highest quality possible. Check us out at AmericanFamilyStudios.net. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The House of Representatives began debate on President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill after voting 219 to 213 to move forward early this morning. It came after House Speaker Mike Johnson delayed the vote after several Republicans voted with Democrats against the bill and others had yet to cast their vote. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana celebrates the bill about to be passed.
We are finally going to give and restore that great American dream and that hope for those families who have been waiting way too long. That hope is coming. We're going to pass this bill. President Trump's going to sign it. It's going to be a great 4th of July. Let's pass the bill, Mr. Speaker.
California Republican Congressman Tom McClintock acknowledges the votes have been close.
Our process was not designed to make perfect law. It was designed to make the best law that's acceptable to a majority, and judging by the narrow votes, we've pushed this bill about as far toward perfection as our process allows.
Brian Colbert pleading guilty Wednesday to the murders of 4 Iowa college students in 2022.
And then let me ask you, did you, on November 13th, 2022, enter the residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder?
Yes.
Chanley Painter tells us more from Boise, Idaho.
He was able to wear, a suit and a tie for the last time. The moment he actually walked into the courtroom, he has this very good posture, and he walks in. It seems confident at times. He even gave a smile to his attorney as he sat down at the table about to plead guilty to brutally stabbing 4 young people in 2022. This plea agreement, it was all last minute, and we learned yesterday it was even last minute to the judge.
I want to offer my apologies to all the families, including the victims' families.
The hearing lasted about an hour yesterday. The victims' families, especially Ethan Chapin's family members and Kayla Gonzalez's family members, were visibly crying and wiping tears during this time.
President Trump will kick off his Independence Day weekend by traveling to Iowa today for a, quote, very special event honoring our great country. The 250th anniversary of American independence will be held July 4th, tomorrow, with Trump saying his administration will plan a year of patriotic events celebrating the anniversary. Trump administration chief of protocol Monica Crowley says with President Trump, patriotism and strength are back.
We're kicking off tomorrow 250 years of American leadership, strength, patriotism, and pride. It's going to be a year-long landmark celebration. We want to unite the country around this landmark event, around America 250, around patriotism and shared values, and this renewed sense of civic pride.
A law firm wants the Trump administration to investigate after a situation involving a Utah Bath and Body Works store.
Jocelyn Bowden was the manager of the store for 3.5 years. While in that position, Bowden hired an employee who identifies as transgender. But according to Bowden's sincerely held religious beliefs, Bowden could not refer to that individual by a pronoun that does not correspond with his or her biological sex. Attorney Cliff Martin of First Liberty, the law firm representing Bowden.
Jocelyn does not believe that someone can change their gender, and she told Bath and Body Works that when they opened an investigation because they had heard that Jocelyn had allegedly misgendered this employee. And we don't believe that Jocelyn should have to choose between her faith and her job, and so we're asking the Trump administration to look into whether the Civil Rights Act was violated.
In the meantime, Martin says Bowden was the inclusive person in this story.
She hired this employee that identified as transgender and was perfectly willing to work with that employee and proposed an accommodation where she would refer to that employee only by name at all times so that everyone could work together peaceably. And it was Bath and Body Works that had the knee-jerk response of just terminating her immediately without exploring whether these employees could work together and coexist.
I'm Chris Woodward.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose
lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildman and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness.